So I was born to a ratchet-ass mother in 1988. My sister Crystal was born first. My grandparents named us simply because they were afraid my mom would name us something like Lakeisha or Shaniqua. So they took precautions to protect us. And my husband's watching stuff in the background. So my grandmother was a religious woman. She was quite strict. I mean, if we did anything wrong, we'd have to fetch our switch. Some people know what that means, other people don't. If you haven't noticed by now, I'm pretty much trashed. But hey, my grandpa was a very cool, laid-back man. He actually preferred to wear aviator shades whenever he could. So he did that. My mom, being the wretch that she is, you know, she had kids young at about 16 or so. She pretty much went clubbing every night when she realized she could leave us alone at about 7 or 8. Then we wouldn't burn the house down or anything. So my older sister Crystal was responsible for pretty much all of us, or I would be responsible for everybody. So oftentimes I found my older sister cooking food for us, or I would be cooking food. Our mother was pretty much like, hey, you carry the emergency numbers. If you eat rat poison, down here. If there's a fire, down here. You know, I was quite confused about the family hierarchy, really, as a child. When I started going to school, people always made fun of how raggedy I looked and how often my clothes looked ancient. So they all knew I was poor, and they would all get together and kind of make fun of me. And, you know, I just became very isolated as a child, and that was kindergarten, mind you. That was kindergarten. Pretty much in the first grade, I sat alone on the bus because everyone thought poor was contagious. So no one wanted to sit next to me, and then all around the bus, they would talk about how poor I was and how terrible my clothes looked. But hey, my granny picked out my clothes, and I love my granny, so I don't insult her and say not wear her clothes. Well, one day, this boy, his name was Frank, he decided to sit beside me for some reason, and he was a white boy, mind you. Okay, if you guys don't know, I am chocolate. No, I'm a cookie colored. Okay, no, Frank decided to sit beside me that day. All right, now, I had no reason why, being that I knew my stigma already. Okay, so I was like, hey, you know, why are you sitting beside me? Not that I care or mind, tsundere, like, just, you know, tell me why. Well, he was just like, oh, you know, I just felt like sitting beside you, even though for the rest of the school year, he sat beside me like halfway through the school year. For the rest of the school year, he did. He sat beside me. And when he told me that, he was like, I felt like it, you know, it's all gravy. I was furious because I was like, these kids singled me out for something I couldn't even choose. So I was a very angry child, but I stayed quiet. I invested my time into computers because basically computers wouldn't give me shit. And I started doing MS Paint to try and figure out where I belonged and, you know, draw pictures and stuff. Well, in middle school, being involved in the computer, I would be up to like 3 in the morning and then go to school, but then it just didn't work out for me, and I started skipping. And I remember, like, in middle school, they would make fun of me of my clothing selections. I couldn't match colors, so I started wearing all black and white to try and appease these fuckers. And then it turned into, hey, are you a witch? And it's like, why even try? Like, I wore monochrome colors, you fuckers, because you said I didn't match. So whatever. I remember in middle school, I was doing some secret cosplay of Rei Ayanami, and, you know, it was one of the happier times being in middle school. But I also remember this black chick. By the way, most of these kids that have been making fun of me, they were black, okay? And I'm black too, so I couldn't figure it out. She decided in the middle of an assembly to pull off my blue wig, and it was just overall, it was humiliating. It was terrible. It was saddening because I was like, why? What did I do? What did I ever do to you fuckers? What did I ever do? So we moved from St. Louis to Manchester to be in a better school. They're still pretty close, but I didn't make this choice to move to this better school, mind you. Okay, but that school had the Nihongos, and I was quite happy being able to be the weeb that I am. But you know, even in some classes I didn't really fit in too well. But hey, I had my Japanese class, and I look forward to that every day. Well, basically, because we had moved out here, we didn't have any money. We never had money to begin with, and so I had to take part-time jobs, 30 to 40 hours a week as a high school student, mind you. So a lot of times, like when I would go to bed, I still slept on the floor, mind you, because there was no money. A lot of times I would go to bed and I would just fear. I'm like, what if there is no money left? Like, what if I don't make enough money? So I would have to go to these classes. Well, lo and behold, about my junior year, my older sister, who was a senior, in honor roll, she's super smart, my older sister, like on honor roll, great. She surprised us and said, oh, she's pregnant, and you know, nothing you can really do about that, because what it implied was I can't not go to college. So knowing that I was, you know, the one that probably wouldn't go to college, not because I was stupid, but because I would have to provide for the family if that be the case, I just told her, I know, and I'll watch your kids, you know. It's the only way that my older sister would be able to make good money to support all of us. So she gave birth to my nephew, Diaz, who is super cute. And then a year later, she gave birth to Nacho, who's also super cute. These my cute little babies. These are the babies that I can't have. So I made a decision to like give it my all to watch her kids, you know, while I didn't go to school. I did graduate, yes, but after graduation, I didn't go to college. So I just decided I'm going to help her. I'm going to take care of everything and watch her kids so that my sister can focus on school and get higher wages and, you know, do her best. So I started doing more YouTube because I had time for it. And, you know, I started making videos, and it made me feel happy that I had something, you know, something I could do. So as we know, I made my crappy persona. And there was also Shuku involved, which is one of my old best friends. But, you know, she can do her own draw her life because I'm sick of drawing free shit. Anyways, after a while, it just turned into work. I didn't have time for YouTube anymore because I had to work to try and maintain myself because my ratchet ass mother didn't, you know, establish a savings or anything. So after a while, I just sat. I just wondered. I would go to work endlessly, and I just wondered, like, why was I even born? Why would anyone have me around? I had really intrusive thoughts. It was really depressing. But I started getting into singing Japanese songs. But I was getting into Enka, and I knew about Enka when I was younger because I would always study about Japanese culture when I was younger. I knew about Enka. So I started singing Enka, and I guess Japanese people thought I was the shit at singing the Enka. So for about maybe 6 years running, I went to the Japanese festival in St. Louis and participated in Enka, and, you know, participation led up to getting flown out to Japan to compete in a competition. I did not win, however, it was fun. It was really fun. It made me feel wanted, you know? Well, when I came back from Japan, what happened was my family's home that what I assume my grandfather had, he had passed away, and developers wanted to buy it. And the deed of the house was a clusterfuck. So basically, my grandpa's name was on it, and then like a bunch of his sisters who we knew of but didn't really care for, and then a bunch of their kids, and then a bunch of dead people's kids, and then it got out of hand, and we lost the house. Like our family, my family, the Lovings family of the 4 kids, and I guess my mother, we lost the house, and it destroyed my sister. It partly destroyed me because it was like our relatives, they were already established. They had everything they needed. They didn't have any ratchet parents to like wreck it all for them. And, you know, they had savings, they had everything. Like my great-grandmother took care of them. And so I was just furious. I was just like, are you for fucking real? Like, even our own family members that know that our mother is just irresponsible won't let us have shit. Like, we didn't get any cut of that deal because they bought it for a lot of money. No cut to that deal. I was just bitter. I was angry, and I just wished, like, all of my family except my big sister would go away. So for a while, I just sat there and I thought to myself, you know, what did I do? What did I do wrong? I did everything wrong, and still I'm here, and I'm royally fucked now. So what did I do wrong? Like, a lot of times I thought it was because maybe I was born black. That's why, because that's why my grandparents named me as they did. And, you know, now that I'm married, I think about it all the time because my future depends on who I am. And I'm stuck with this stigma of that I'm ratchet, I don't care, and I do care, but my relatives have made it pretty much in stone that I have nothing, you know. But my husband still married me, knowing what my family did, because he was around for that, knowing that what he did, he was still around for it. So, you know, I have somebody, I guess. I mean, this is my crappy life. So, thanks for watching. You guys have been patient enough to deal with me. Oh, this tastes horrible.